Greetings, Toastmaster Chair and fellow Toastmasters and invited guests. I had written up a very mundane icebreaker speech where I basically listed all the reasons why I was joining Toastmasters, and I provided a little bit of a background about myself, and then listed all the things that I thought I could bring back to you as my guides and my fellow Toastmasters. So it was a typical icebreaker speech. Then, about 2 meetings ago, I was exposed to Jazzaline and all her brilliance in her icebreaker speech on Trader Joe's. I quickly contacted Juan, who's sort of my informal mentor guide to this Toastmaster group. Juan, I asked, is it possible to do something different for an icebreaker like Jazzaline did for hers? Juan modestly described his brilliant icebreaker, which debated the merits of tacos and hamburgers. So my whole paradigm shifted, and I needed to do something that I would enjoy and that would bring joy to my listeners. So in honor of my excellent coaches, I rewrote my icebreaker and will present to you a timely topic of grilling turkeys. Please sit back, sip your imaginary Trader Joe's sparkling cranberry ginger beer, and hear my icebreaker. Turkeys are among the most difficult items to grill, but the results can be stunning. The major problem with grilling or roasting turkeys is that they have been bred to have lots of somewhat flavorless, dry, white breast meat, sort of like on a dome on the top of the turkey. The best part, in my opinion, is the flavorful dark meat, which is inconveniently located on the more flat, stable base of the bird. Ideally, you want the full fatty flavors of the dark meat to render and trickle down into the breast to add moisture and taste to the breast. The shape of the bird makes that difficult to do, especially in a small grill. I could go on and on, reciting the many ways to get around this structural problem. Instead, may I humbly suggest lavishly covering the breast with strips of thick-cut bacon. This adds a lot of flavor and moisture to keep the meat from drying out. So, while I do not have time to reveal all my secrets of grilling, here are some tips in grilling a great bird. If you buy your bird frozen, make sure that it's well thawed. I recommend removing the bird from its wrapper my cat is bothering me, excuse me. I recommend removing the bird from the wrapper at least a day or 2 in advance of the big event to make sure that all the ice is gone and to make sure that it's completely thawed. I use this time to fully inspect the bird, getting rid of any stray feathers and massaging the flesh. You want no surprises. Make sure you clean out the cavities so there's no little bag of giblets that could ruin the flavor of your final bird. Unless you buy your bird from a specialty place, your turkey has probably been injected with a brine solution. If your bird is not so injected, or if you wish to get fancy, you could further brine your bird by soaking it in a salty solution filled with your favorite turkey flavorings, herbs and spices. I find that I don't like to brine my bird because you have to get a big pot and you have to find a place to keep the pot. But many people have said they've had spectacular results with that. So I don't want you to run away from that concept or that idea. I like to lightly stuff my bird with flavorful items because somehow whatever you stuff the bird with imparts a flavor to the rest of the whole of the bird. So that is something that I would recommend doing. Well, I also recommend when it's getting close to grilling time to massage the bird with lots of different types of spices that you like, such as I use salt and pepper. Sometimes I use a little bit of the Bell's seasoning, which is just basically the herbs that are very good for flavorful with turkey. So if you like a smoky flavor, you might want to consider getting your grill set up with a smoker box, or you can make one out of tin foil. I recommend using hickory or cherry wood chips to add a nice flavor. So roughly about a half an hour before you're going to start your grill, you want to soak those chips so they get lots of moisture in them to release a lot of smoke. So that's a very important thing to do. Then you put your bird in the grill. You grill it for the appropriate amount of time. I recommend using a thermometer to ensure that you've got the proper cooking temperature. And then when completely done, take your bird out and let it rest undisturbed for about 20 minutes. That is an opportunity for you to rush around and make sure that the table is set and such like, and greeting friends and family if you're so lucky to have people visit you during these COVID times. And then carve your turkey and enjoy. So I want to thank everybody for this talk, for listening to my talk. I hope that you have whatever you eat for Thanksgiving is going to be delicious, and that you're going to share it somehow in the company of people who you love, and have a wonderful time. Thank you.
Thank you, Nico. And thank you, Natalie, for finally giving your icebreaker. I know you wanted to schedule it, I believe, during the contest, but it had to be pushed forward. So yeah, it finally happened. And yeah, thank you. I guess it was timely is one thing I would like to say. I also like your cat. I don't know if it's a he or she, but your cat interrupted, and it was a good interruption. I actually have a note that says compliment her and her cat. They're very cute. But yeah, it was the title of your speech was no basting. And it was very timely because, as we know, Thanksgiving is around the corner, and you also tied it into your invocation was also tied into it. I don't know if I can evaluate the invocation as well, but I like the meta narrative. I really like it. So that you have that going for you. For the introduction, I like how you kind of brought in other Toastmasters, how you were inspired by Jaslyn's Trader Joe's story, and how Juan also helped you create how you helped him basically setting up his speech. I don't think I remember his taco speech, but sure, like I would love to see that again. I would say this was something I would think I would see in a food blog, like one of those food blogs that shows how to cook a turkey from start to end. It was very thorough. Like you clearly know what you're doing with the turkey. I would say, yeah, it was very procedural, like from, I guess they say farm to table, but this is like store to table kind of thing. So I would like to say thank you very much for that. And I don't eat turkey, but one thing is I always love seasoning, and I am actually cooking African food now, so I'm actually I don't know, the seasoning has a special place in my mind because I am now using the same seasoning that my mom uses. So I like that. I like the fact that you added the seasoning and also the different ways to smoke it. I would say the only thing is, since I have to put something to improve on. I don't know if someone else has done this, but you should definitely I think you could have done a PowerPoint, because there was a lot to keep track of. So you should have done a PowerPoint, but honestly, I think you picked an amazing speech topic and you followed through on it. And I'm honestly a little tempted to say next week, the recording of this speech is if the recording of this speech is up, I'll say, hey guys, happy Thanksgiving, Toastmasters. Here's how you cook your turkey if you're having a turkey. I also like the way you ended it. You try to, because yes, we are living through these times. You try to say, hey, be thankful for stuff. Hopefully you have people around you and be thankful for them. And yeah, congratulations on your speech. This is the part where we'll give you an actual icebreaker, but we're not physical with each other. But yeah, thank you, Natalie.